Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today, guys, we are going to be jumping back down into the world of Bitcoin and taking a look at what's been going on most recently, what I think is likely to happen next, and all that wonderful stuff. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Stay up to date with all the videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, it is the centralized hub of everything cheeky. We actually link in many different platforms all into one centralized hub. It's the first place we go to let you know of all the updates that are going on in the crypto space before anything reaches Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, etc. So if you haven't already joined it, links in the description down below. It is a little bit difficult to get in, high security to keep scammers out. So yeah, do have a little bit of patience with that. Get yourselves in there and you'll stay up to date with absolutely everything. Let's get a start with this though. So Bitcoin paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is the data source. Now, as you can kind of see, not a lot has really changed. We are still ranging sideways. Now, of course, we can draw some trend lines on here. We can kind of say, okay, well, we're wedging ourselves in. And when true, it is true to a degree. And you can see here that we're kind of getting these lower highs coming in. And we also have just up here as well, all of these higher lows as well. We're basically getting ourselves wedged up into this triangular wedge. I'm just going to delete some of these off here just so you can kind of see that a little bit clearer, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this one off. So you can kind of see here, and in fact what I will do is I'll make these white. So actually, let's go blue. Let's make them a little bit visible so we can see what's going on. So as you can see, right, we're kind of getting ourselves wedged up. Okay, so we're bouncing around just a little bit here and we're coiling up. Okay, and this is going to be a catalyst for a move. Okay, now from this, it's not as clean cut as if you're going down into lower lows and lower highs. That's straightforward. We're going to break upwards. Likewise, when we're doing higher lows and higher highs, we're going to break down. There's just really simple. When it comes to these triangular wedges, it's important that we understand that they can go in either direction. And really, the move that goes into this is the one that's ultimately going to be the exit. Okay, so this is a continuation pattern. This comes down, continues sideways, then go down, and we break down from it. Okay, so my expectation is that we break down. However, I'm also still, looking at these higher ranges, thinking we haven't really retested these. So I'm thinking we might actually get a kind of false break where we come up first and then we break down. Okay, so I'm just thinking that, there's a lot of things going on when it comes to the BTC price action, and I'm just not confident in thinking that we're going to go straight down. I think we're going to have to break upwards first. And this continuation pattern has allowed us to do some resets on our momentum indicators. Okay, so as you can see that we're no longer over bull on the 8, 4, and 1 hour charts. They corrected a little bit. This means that there's still now potential to the upside. If I come up to the 8 hour, you can see it's only just come down a little bit. Okay, on the 4 hour, it's come down a fair amount. And on the hourly, it's come down a fair amount. Okay, so it looks like there's potential to the upside to be had here. And all now that we have to do is kind of be patient enough and wait it out a bit. Okay, so the wave counts that I had, if I come here and just grab my fibs, that I had on here before I deleted it all, of course, was this potential move upwards here. Okay, so we have a potential move that looks like this, which goes 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to make this yellow again so that you can kind of see that one in there. So basically you have this kind of move. Now this one actually comes out, and I see there's a lot of different wave counts on this, so it's about trying to stack what's going to be the most probable. Okay, so I'm going to call this 18,400, and it's actually 67, so I'm just going to go ahead and change that to 67 there, just so we get that as accurate as possible for the video. Okay, so what I'm going to do is remove the fibs, and so that's one wave count, right? Now to get there, we have to also consider that we have this potential sub-wave count going on in here. So we come up, we've pulled back down, and we're looking to come up. This is our 17,589. Okay, so I'll go ahead and draw that on. That goes 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we have another sub-wave count of that sub-wave count. That is basically inside here, and we move it to this recent low point. And this one shows us moving to 17,344. Okay, so we can start to see that we're running out of momentum to the upside, and there's a limited amount to it. Okay, so our wave counts are basically, they started off nice and high at 18,400. Then the subwave count is indicating 17,500. And then the subwave count of the subwave count is now indicating this little lower here at 17,340. So there's a lot to kind of consider here with limited upside moves, on the kind of horizon here. So lots of things to think about. Okay, now all that's positive. All those are upward directional moves. What about this 15,000 to the downside? Well, this would be on the case that we wouldn't break this high point. Okay, so if we don't break as high as this dash line here at 18,190, okay, that's this A wave high point. If we can't break that, then essentially the wave count's actually going to be let's say we come up to that 17,589. Would then come down to this 15,000, and you'd actually have this breakdown here. And again, there's also this target of 13,000 when we actually zoom out just a fraction and we start thinking about this as just a B wave move of that. And then you can start to see that actually there's a lot of things that we have to consider here with BTC. It's not as clean cut as saying, oh, we're going up or oh, we're going down. The trend line tells you this, the trend line tells you that. Basically, all of these different counts that I've just shown you are the way it's basically showing us how the herd are behaving, and the herd don't know. Essentially, they're all kind of ranging because no one knows which way it's going to go, at least from a herd and a retail investor mentality. So basically, looking at it is it can go in either direction, and Elliott wave theory is having a pretty hard time at determining what way the herd wants to go. Okay, so with all of these counts, we have to be really, really cautious. It does look like there's more room to the downside on a slightly macro time frame, but it does look like we need to also account for a potential rally, okay, in BTC. So I think what we're waiting for here is to see what that next catalyst is. I'm going to remove these ones and I'm going to show you the two extreme levels, right? 18 or 15. These are the two kind of wave counts that are potentially are going to play out over the next few days, right? Once we kind of get a bit of confidence in the market, we're either going to move up or move down. And it's just a case of kind of being patient enough to know and to wait for this ranging market to complete. One of these moves is then going to show you the next one. Okay, so I'm not participating from a trading point of view on these because I think that would be foolish because it's just ranging. And what we want to do is we want to ascertain if we hit this high point up here, cracking, we can then start thinking about shorts. If we go ahead and delete these out, and we start thinking and start hitting this low area here, then we can start thinking about those long positions coming in potentially. Okay, so at the moment it's about waiting out this ranging market, knowing when not to trade rather than when to trade. So yeah, just a little bit of caution on there. And I do want to kind of come back up and into some data for BTC whilst I'm here, right? We can see that we have now more outflows again. So again, people are withdrawing from exchanges, which in my opinion is a good idea. We use hardware wallets like Ledger, links in the description down below. We are affiliated with Ledger, so we do get a kickback if you do use that link to buy a hardware wallet from Ledger. It does help support the channel, but there are many other brands out there that you can also investigate and look into. We just use Ledger because we think it's a lot of hardware wallet for your money. You can obviously find a lot more expensive ones than obviously Ledger as well. And some of them obviously are slightly better security wise as well. So you have to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. We like Ledger. You get a lot of money. Get a lot of bang for your buck essentially. So your money goes a lot further when it comes to Ledger. Especially speaking. So yeah. At the end of the day, you're seeing with all of these outflows, a lot more people withdrawing from exchanges. The trust level of exchanges has depleted. And as Elon Musk says, get your crypto on self-custody. Right? So get yourself a hardware wallet and look after yourselves. Don't trust these exchanges with your assets. Not your keys, not your crypto. There's all these sayings that go out there. And it's well worth kind of keeping an eye on them. So as you can see, yesterday we had more in the way of outflows as we continue to see this surge of basically people doing self-custody. This is a problem for exchanges, okay? So basically, the more people that self-custody their crypto assets, basically, these exchanges are going to run a risk of insolvency. Now, I'm not saying that they are. Definitely going to be in that category. Some exchanges are holding your assets and they're available for you to withdraw. Sometimes these platforms leverage your assets and they use your assets for their own purposes, and maybe they don't have all of your assets ready to be withdrawn, right, as a collective whole. And this is something that we see in the banking industry when you have runs on banks. They don't actually have enough money for everyone to withdraw from the bank. It's the same with these exchanges. There's a run on these exchanges at the moment, and you can see that massively with these number of self-custody wallets spiking up so much, right? So one of the things that we need to acknowledge here is that there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Bitcoin has been leaving the exchanges, specifically because no one is basically that trust is lost with exchanges. So self-custody, guys, if you're not already doing it, it should be high up on your priority list. It's something that you should be really, really cautious with, and something you should potentially take very seriously and action. Because if you're still on the exchanges whilst everyone else is withdrawn, chances are or there's a high probability of it that your assets can't be withdrawn. And you don't want to end up in a situation like you were with Celsius, for example, or Voyager or FTX, and your crypto assets are going to be used to pay their bankruptcy fees and their creditors and things like that. Okay, so under Chapter 11, your interests are not met. Their creditors are instead. So just bear this in mind, that if some of these exchanges like FTX, like Voyager, like Celsius, if they do go, I mean, I know Voyager kind of separate story, but FTX and Celsius, when they go bankrupt, you're done, right? Your crypto assets are lost, and you don't want to lose that money for no good reason. Bad management, bad practices of those individuals running the platforms could potentially see you get wiped out. So look after yourselves, guys. Make sure you're using some kind of self-storage, whether that is Ledger or a different brand or MetaMask, Trust Wallet, whatever it may be. Get control of your crypto. Okay, so as we can see, huge spikes with data here, and obviously we can still see that we have massive declines with the big money. Big money still exits the space, whilst basically small money remains in. Okay, so until we start to see the retail investors get shaken out and we start seeing the whale players buying up, which they're not at the moment, I'm not estimating an end to the downward price pressure. I think we've got a lot further to go until we start seeing some good signs, not only in the price action of the charts, but also in the background data here when it comes to BTC. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of cover that off again. Very important stuff that we make sure that we look after ourselves in this space. In terms of price action, we're still ranging, waiting for this to kind of choose a direction. I kind of get the feeling that we'll probably end up coming up before we go down, and that would be actually reasonably quite a neat count. So I kind of do want to see 18.5K. That would be a good place to kind of think about maybe starting to talk about 15, maybe even 13K after that. So I think that's really the direction that we're going to go in. So just keep a close eye on it. There's a lot of wave counts here, though. It's very, very uncertain times when it comes to BTC. Keep yourself safe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.